Hi guys, it's Sam Norris here, the Property Investors Broker, and I'm here with another property finance video for you. And today we're talking all things bridging. So if you've taken out a bridging loan before or not, stay tuned because I'm going to be counting down 4 things that you need to know before you take out your first bridging loan. Property is about patience. Hi guys, welcome back. Now before we get started, please do make sure that if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, you click on the subscribe button below. Don't forget to click that little notification button as well. So every time one of these new videos pops up, you'll be told straight away. And also, if you could give us a little like on this video, it really does help me promote these videos to a wider audience. But enough of the self-promotion, let's get straight into it. Let's talk bridging loans. Now, I said just before the break that I was going to go through 4 things that I think that everyone should really know when it comes to applying for a bridging loan. Now, I'm going to count them down in no particular order, and I'm going to kick off with number 1, which is all about deposits. Now, this isn't something that maybe you would think about when taking out a bridging loan straight away at the top of your head, but making sure that you can show a lender exactly where your deposit money is massively important. Whether it's the FCA or the PRA, the 2 governing bodies when it comes to taking out finance, they're both really hot on anti-money laundering. They need lenders to see that the deposit money that you're using is coming from a reasonable source, so that you're basically not doing anything naughty and laundering cash. Now, obviously, recently we've had Sybil's loans, we've had bounce back loans, and a lot of people are trying to use these as deposits. Some lenders are okay with that, bridging lenders we're talking about here. Some aren't, so we need to be sure of which lenders are okay with that, if that's what you're using. But we need to show the source of the deposit, and that isn't necessarily just showing a bank statement with a wad of cash sitting in there. We need to show the build-up of those funds, and even if they're coming from an outside source, say an angel investor or something like that, we need to show where this money is coming from. So have this prepared before you go hunting down for bridging loans. Make sure that you can provide this information to a lender as early as possible. It's so important. I really can't stress it enough. Now, point number 2 in this video, all about what you need to know before you take out your first bridging loan or apply for your first bridging loan, kind of follows on from that. Now, many of you that are watching this will either be following something relating to the buy, refurbish, refinance model, and that's why you're going to be looking to take out this bridging loan. Now, if you're going to be doing that, obviously, there's 2 R's in BRR. We know what the end one is, refinance, but there's that one in the middle, refurbishment. Now, it's really important to understand that what kind of ticks boxes for bridging lenders, okay? Bridging lenders, unlike mortgage lenders who know that over a period of time you're going to pay them back if you're on a repayment mortgage, interest only, you're probably going to sell the property at some point in the future, and so they're pretty comfortable, knowing that money is going to be lent out for a long period of time. Bridging lenders isn't the same. They are going to be getting their money back in a matter of months a lot of the time, and so they want to know that they can get their money back. Now, one thing that's going to hinder them getting their money back is if you can't actually refurbish that property. So we're going to talk about your contractor and your build team later on. And let's talk money for a second here. If you can't show a bridging lender on application that you have enough money to cover the cost of the works, why is that bridging lender going to lend you any money in the first place? They're basically going to lend you money to acquire a property that you can't actually refurbish. You don't have the resources to refurbish that property. And that's gonna basically make that application null and void. There's no point even applying for it if you can't show that you have enough money to cover the cost of the work. So it's massively important to understand that and have this ready. Very similar to the deposit, we need to make sure that this is covered. We've got something like a savings account statement that shows that this money is available. Again, even if it's come from a third party in terms of an angel investor, you need to be able to show that you have it available to you, so lenders understand that they are going to get their money back, because you are going to be able to refurbish that property and raise the value of the property. Mega, mega, mega important here. So the third thing following on from that is find a decent contractor. Okay, it sounds pretty obvious, but if you're just going to get Dave from around the corner to do your plastering, or Johnny from up the road to do your flooring and your roofing, a lot of lenders just aren't going to be comfortable with that. Make sure that you have a decent contractor in place, particularly if it's your first one. You don't have your experience to fall back on. You want to make sure, I use this terminology quite a lot, you want to make sure that this proposal is a no-brainer for a lender, and as a result of that, you want to make this as watertight as possible. And one way of doing that is to make them feel very confident that they are going to be getting their money back, as I said, and that you are going to be able to refurbish this property to a high standard by using a contractor that has a decent track record. Even if it's just the fact they've got a company logo and they've got a website, it makes them look more professional. And so it's massively important that you have this as early as you possibly can, and you have what we call a schedule of works ready. Some builders will call this an estimate, but it's effectively a rundown of all of the works that's going to be done and the associated cost of that, so you can actually show them that what the cost of the works is going to be, with a contingency built in. Don't forget that little hot tip there. And obviously that is going to go side by side with the fact that you can prove that you have the money available, which obviously is very, very important. So on to number 3 then, which follows on quite nicely from what we were just saying in terms of professionalism. Okay, make yourself look professional. The worst thing in the world is when everything looks really ad hoc and a little bit crap, to be quite honest with you. And I've seen the difference when it comes to putting forward a proposition to a lender, where the borrower, the client, the investor is organized and professional versus unorganized and unprofessional. And I can tell you it makes a massive difference. There's a few things you can do to make yourself look more professional. Have a logo for your company, ABC Properties, XYZ Real Estate, 1, 2, 3 Investments, whatever it's going to be. Have something nice. Go onto Fiverr and get someone in the Philippines to design you something for £5. Honestly, it makes a difference. So everything that you've got, all of your documentation has this on the top. When you're putting together your schedule of works, get your contractor to put their logo on it. Put this together and show the lender that this is a reputable firm. Get yourself a website, even if you've done no work so far, just a website with who you are, where you invest, what you do, what your plans are, maybe a list of who's on your power team, your broker, your solicitor, your accountant, your builder, all that kind of stuff. It makes it more professional, and put all that information into a little investor brochure. A lot of you might be going out searching for investors, and it's going to be massively important for you to have all this information to hand anyway. Again, something like Upwork or Fiverr, online places where you can get people from around the world to do great work for you, particularly in the graphic design neck of the woods. You can put together an investor pack in terms of the copy, and they can do the rest, and they can make it look really, really professional for you. And it's stuff like that that's going to add to your professionalism. So tip number 3 is to get professional. Make yourself look like a pro, even if you've got no experience, and be organized and have all this stuff ready and waiting to send in as part of your proposition to a new lender. Now, I think I've kind of been saving the best till last, because number 4 is the most important tip of all of these, and that is exit strategy. Now, for those of you that have been following me for a while, you know that I hammer home on this point quite a lot. Exit strategy is the most important thing. And what do I mean by exit strategy? as I kind of mentioned before, bridging lenders need to see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're only going to be borrowing the money for a relatively short period of time, so they need to feel really comfortable that they're going to get their money back. And the exit strategy is how they do that. This is how you are going to pay them back. It's the exit to the bridge, basically. Now, there are two main ways that most people will exit a bridge. That is by selling a property, or it is by remortgaging. So whether you want to do either or as your plan A, I recommend that you have the other as your plan B, and you put that as part of your proposition. But if you are looking to sell, then please put together as much information as you can in terms of the area, you know, even down to the postcode, the road, you know, some literature on, or some research on the sales market in the area to convince the lender that selling this property at the value that you are looking to sell it at is achievable. Even some sales comparables and that kind of stuff is massively important. Now, on the flip side, if you're following BRR, buy, refurbish, refinance, you're going to be refinancing, remortgaging, whatever terminology you want to use. So it's vital that we know before we apply that a mortgage is going to be available for your circumstances. Whenever I speak to my clients and we're following BRR, we always start with the second R, with remortgaging. We look at what the end value for the property is going to be. We look at what the borrower's situation is going to be at that point in time. We look at what the monthly rental income is going to be, and we work out whether there's actually going to be a lot of mortgage options on the table for this particular borrower. You know, we do that very early on in the process. In fact, it's the first thing that we do, and then we work backwards from there. Some bridging lenders might even want us to go to the point of getting a decision in principle from a mortgage lender, just to really cement the point that this mortgage is possible. And so the more you can do to convince a lender that the exit strategy is solid, the better and the more chance you've got of getting this bridging loan. So I hope this video was really helpful. If you did find this video useful, then please do share it with as many people as you possibly can. If you've got any questions on anything that we've talked about in this video, or anything to do with property finance, let's be honest, drop a comment below and I will come back to you as soon as I can. I do answer every single question or comment that's put on any of these videos. Alternatively, if you don't really want to put a comment below and talk in public, then feel free to follow me on Instagram at the Sam Norris. That's the, as in THE, Sam Norris on Instagram. You can send me a direct message and I'll definitely respond, and we can organise a time to have a conversation. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, but if you do, you'll be notified, and hopefully I'll catch up with you guys on the next video. See you later.